So yun po, yung domestic violence is a violent confrontation between family or household members involving physical harm. Family or household members include spouses, former spouses, those are currently in a dating relationship, adults related by blood or marriage, and those who have a biological or legal parent-child relationship. Yun po yun. The batterer uses acts of violence and series of behaviors including intimidation, threats, psychological abuse, and isolation to coerce and to control the other person. The violence may not happen often, but may remain a hidden and constant terrorizing factor. So, yun po ang domestic violence. And domestic violence is not only sa physical. Move na po tayo. Next. Yan. Domestic violence is not only physical and sexual violence, but also psychological. Psychological violence means intense and repetitive vexation, creating isolation, and controlling the actions of behaviors or the spouse through intimidation or manipulation to the detriment of the individual. And domestic violence, balik po tayo, domestic violence destroys the home. No one deserves to be abused. The responsibility for the violence belongs to the abuser. It's not the victim's fault. Next po. So, yun. Meron pong types of violence. No, yung una po yung physical and sexual abuse. Yun po yung mga bodily harm, hair pulling, biting, shaking, pushing, pinching, choking, kicking, confinement, slapping, hitting, punching, using weapons, forced intercourse, rape, sexual harassment, forced engagement in sexual activities, unwanted sexual touching in public or in private, and depriving her of food or sleep. Yun po yung psychological and sexual abuse. And then, we have psychological and emotional abuse. Ito po yung verbal and social abuse po. Ito po yung mga insulting her in public or in private, putting down her friends and family, making her feel bad about herself, calling her names, making her think she's crazy, playing mind games. Paano yung playing mind games? Yung sinusubok yung nyo eh, yung isip nyo. Tapos paggawa yung mga bagay na ayaw nyo, gano'n. Tapos making her think she's crazy. Tapos humiliating her, napahiya, making her feel guilty, using male privilege, acting like master of the castle, treating her like a servant, making all the big decisions, being the one to define men's and women's role. Siya yung nagsasabi kung ano yung role ng men at women. Tapos meron pong economic abuse. Ito naman yung preventing her from getting or keeping a job, making her ask for money, taking her money, not letting her know about or have access to family income, not allowing her to voice important financial decisions, and demanding exclusive control over household finances. Yun po, yung trabaho, kung po yung pera, marami pong ganun yung papanood natin. So, may mga warning signs na po pala yun. Yung warning signs ng domestic violence. Ito yung using coercion and threats. Making or carrying out threats to do or something to hurt her. Threatening to leave her. Threatening to report her to welfare, making her drop charges, and making her do illegal things. Pinipilit siya gumawa ng mga bagay na illegal. Tapos using intimidation, making her afraid by using looks, gestures, and actions, throwing or smashing things, destroying properties, mga naninira, abusing pets, dangerous driving, and displaying weapons. Kasama po yung pag-display ng weapons, mga parang yung kasilyo or mga barel. Tapos, using children, making her feel guilty about the children, using the children to relay the messages, using visitation to harass her, threatening to take the children away. Yon. Tapos using isolation, yung pong mga kinukulong, hindi pinalalabas ng bahay. Controlling what she does, what she sees, what she reads, and where she goes. Kung saan siya pumupunta, kailangan i-report. Limiting her outside involvement, ayaw siyang palabasin. And refusing to let her learn to drive, go to school, or get a job. Ayaw siyang kunin ng trabaho. Not allowing her to freely use the car or the telephone. Yun. Tapos, meron pa using jealousy or and blame to justify actions. Minimizing, denying, blaming. Making light of the abuse and not taking her concerns about it seriously. Checking out on where she's been or where she's talked to. Accusing her of infidelity. Tatangsil daw. Saying the abuse didn't happen. Shifting responsibility for abusive behavior and saying she caused it. Sisisi sa kanya. Ito po. Alamin po natin what causes domestic violence. Mga causes po. Una, to control and dominate the other. Gusto niya makontrol yung asawa niya or pasunurin sa kanya, di ba? Because of low self-esteem. Mababa yung self-esteem niya. Extreme jealousy, selos. Difficulties in regulating anger. Now, yung nahirapan siyang kontrolin yung galit niya. They feel inferior in education and socio-economic background. Tingin nila mataas sila yung pinag-aralan nila, mas mataas kaysa doon sa asawa nila. Traditional beliefs that women aren't equal to men and they have the right to control their partner. Hindi ro equal, mas mataas ang lalaki. Yun po yung nakagisnan ng Pilipino. Tradition noon. Then, the abuser learned violent behavior from their family, people in their community, and other cultural influences as they grow up. Nakikita nila sa paligid nila habang lumalaki sila. Ganun yung nakalakyan nila. Violent behavior. They may have been exposed in violent surroundings or been victims themselves. May learn to believe that violence is a reasonable way to resolve conflicts between people. Yun, akala nila, yun yung kasagutan para yung conflicts between two people. Then boys who learn that women are not being valued or respected are more likely to abuse women when they grow up. Yun, yung nakagisna nila yung mga lalaki, na nakita nila yung mga babae ay hindi dapat igalang. Yan. Pag laki nila, yun din yung gagawin nila. Yung talaga yung kala nila. Girls who witness domestic violence in their families or origin are more likely to be victimized by their own husbands. Yung mga babae naman daw po, pag lumaki sa violent surroundings, yun yung most likely nagiging victim din po. And alcohol and drugs may contribute to violent behavior. Sama po yung alcohol and drugs. Next po. Although women are the most often the victim of domestic violence, the gender roles can and are reversed sometimes. Sometimes abused women are themselves to blame. Some believe that wife abuse would not occur if it were not for women who drive their husbands over the edge. No? They point out that some women bait their husbands into abusing them with a frigid attitude or constant nagging. Yun, mga nagger kasi. Kaya, nasasaktan. Yun. nasagad yung asawa, nasasaktan. Pwede rin po yun, reverse naman din. Reverse naman sometimes. Siya yung nananakit. Siya yung nagnanap. Sino po rito lalaking sinasaktan ng asawa? Ang bahay. Meron po ba? Yun. The wife pattering is commonly referred to as the silent crime. Silent crime po usually. Battered women normally don't seek help or sympathy from others. They keep it to themselves because of the shame, because nahiya po sila eh. They feel, and because they are afraid of what might happen to their husbands if they will report it. Yun yung husband's behavior nila, extra report nila. Siguro takot sila na mawalan financial support or ano mangyari sa husband nila or yun po, mahal nila, ganon. So, these possible causes are only to better understand why the abuser believes it is acceptable to abuse their partner physically, sexually, psychologically, and emotionally. Ultimately, an abuser needs to get help for their unhealthy and destructive behavior or find themselves living in a solitary and lonely life. So, no cause of domestic violence is, however, justifies the actions of the abuser, nor should it be used as a rationale for their behavior. Hindi raw po ano yan, yung mga, yung actions ng abuser, hindi pwedeng gawing dahilan. Ba't siya sinaktan? Every woman's experience of abuse is different, and each one of them deserves respect and support.